Mr. Shikly, welcome.
Welcome, shalom.
We often talk about, there's an axiom that says that you cannot fight anti-Semitism until you define it. In your role as minister battling anti-Semitism, how exactly do you define it, and how does the Israeli government define it?
Anti-Semitism today has many forms. We know the old forms that are coming from racist point of view or from counter-religious point of view, but I think that's on the side. And not think, actually, it's statistics. When you see the statistics, it's on the side. The main anti-Semitism that we see today, it is an attempt to deny the right of the Jewish people to have their own sovereign state, to resist to the idea of the collective right of the Jews to have their own state. That is today the most significant appearance of anti-Semitism. That's the new anti-Semitism. And we're not speaking about criticizing Israel or about the argument about Judea and Samaria. Just like the BDS says, from the river to the sea, Palestine, וכולי וכולי, that's their message. There is no room for a Jewish state, and this is the most dangerous anti-Semitism that we see today, and it is most of the times it's coming from the progressive ideology, because it's also against nationality, and especially against Jewish nationality.
I want to talk to you a bit about your other role as a minister, besides the struggle against anti-Semitism, is diaspora affairs. Your father is a Jewish educator. It's a very important issue to you. You recently released a plan to deliver $40 million to the U.S. and Canada to train the next generation of Jewish educators. There's been a lot of money over time thrown at this problem. What about your plan will succeed?
So first of all, we need to understand that there is a relationship between Jewish education and anti-Semitism, because most of the people that meets on a daily basis anti-Semitism are students here in the US or in Canada or in Europe. They are the one who need to confront anti-Semitism. We in Israel, it also affects us because of the UN approach and some diplomatic aspects, but regularly it is here. Jewish young people, sometimes even in high school, they are the one who needs to confront it. Now, if you don't have Jewish and Zionist education, it is very hard to stand strong against this accusation. It is very hard to stand and fight for the truth if you don't know the history, if you're not well educated about your Jewish identity. And I think that the deep answer to anti-Semitism, and especially to new anti-Semitism, is Jewish education. Now, regarding to the investment that we intend to make in Jewish education, we need to understand that in the US currently only 20% of the kids goes to Jewish day schools. That include the Hasidic and the ultra-Orthodox and the modern Orthodox, meaning that around 5% from the non-Orthodox sectors go to Jewish day schools. It's nothing. It means that their entire generation of young Jews doesn't get Jewish education. And now there are amazing programs that you can do later on, and you can go to Masan, you can go to Taglit, but if you don't have the foundation, then it's irrelevant. And this is the mission, and we hope to have matching for this investment with many other foundations, to work with the federations, and to create a model that will enable us to empower significantly Jewish education. And we do see that it is possible to do it, because we're learning what's going on. I just came from Toronto, and we saw in Toronto that they had a similar crisis, and with major investment, they have managed to shift the course and to change the situation radically. And they now have more and more students in Jewish day schools, in Jewish high schools. So it means that this challenge can be solved.
I I want to stick with diaspora affairs. You have been critical over time of the reform movement here in the United States, which is the predominant movement. I don't know if you saw last week some 300 rabbis and leaders gathered in New York, reform movement members, to try to correct their path, essentially, to try to find a way to be more in touch with the state of Israel, to be more, use more religious language, more religious practice, to further Jewish education in a way that has kind of slipped off the path, off the derech, as they say. Can you find a common path forward with the reform movement as Diaspora Affairs Minister?
Look, so I had meetings with Rick Jacobs, who said that he see himself and the movement as Zionist. I saw many other rabbis from the reform movement who does see themselves as Zionist, and some who are not, but that's not always the case. And I'm not suggesting that the entire reform movement is anti-Zionist, and I never said it. But you can see that some segments of it do go back to the origin of the movement as a counter-national movement. That's how it started. It was anti-Zionist at the beginning because the idea was to be Yehudim b'nei dat Moshe, okay? Germans who are in the religion of Moses. That was the idea right from the beginning. So there are some rabbis who do go back. It seems that they go back to this origin, but I wouldn't say it about the entire reform movement as a whole.
I wish we had more time. Hopefully we can speak again soon.
תודה רבה.
Time for now. Amichai Shikli, thank you so much.